Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn about subthalamus. Now here in this diagram you can see that subthalamic nuclei is shown here, right? Now subthalamus, it lies between the midbrain and thalamus, medial to the internal capsule and the globus pallidus, right? Now here you can see this is the thalamus, right? Here is the substantia nigra, that is the part of the midbrain, you know that, right? And between two you can find the subthalamic nucleus, right? And it is medial to the internal capsule and globus pallidus. So here is the globus pallidus and this is the internal capsule. The internal capsule we will see later on, but this is the internal capsule. Okay, so this is the location of the subthalamus. Now it consists of grey matter and white matter. In the grey matter, it contains the cranial ends of the red nucleus and the substantia nigra extend into it, right? You already know these are the parts of the midbrain, the red nucleus and the substantia nigra. Their cranial ends are extending into the subthalamus. Second is the subthalamic nuclei itself, and the third is the zona incerta, right? Zona incerta we will see here. In this diagram you can see the zona incerta is shown, right? This is again a part of the grey matter in the subthalamus. In the white matter you will find cranial ends of the lemnisci, that is lateral to the red nucleus. Then second is the dentatothalamic tract along with the rubrothalamic fibers. Then ansa lenticularis, right? This is ansa lenticularis. Then fasciculus lenticularis, this, and the subthalamic fasciculus. Okay, so these are the white matter bundles that you will find in the subthalamus. The subthalamic nuclei is a biconvex in the coronal section and is situated dorsolateral to the red nucleus and ventral to the zona incerta. From its connections, it appears to be important site for the integration of the number of motor centers, right? So what is the important aspect about subthalamus? That it is an important site for the integration of the many motor centers. The zona incerta that you can see here, right? It is a thin lamina of the grey matter situated between the thalamus and the subthalamic nucleus. Laterally it is continuous with the reticular nucleus of the thalamus, and its activity influences the drinking of water, right? So zona incerta is related to the drinking of water, right? We can see some more diagrams. In this you can see this is zona incerta that they have shown here, right? This is the thalamic fasciculus. Ansa lenticularis, here is the subthalamic nuclei, and this is the subthalamic fasciculus. Clinical anatomy related to the subthalamus. Discrete lesions of the subthalamic nucleus results in hemibellismus, that is characterized by the involuntary choreiform movements on the opposite side of the body, right? See, again the function is contralateral. This choreiform movements means repetitive and the rapid jerky involuntary movements that appears to be well coordinated, and it is often seen in the Huntington's disease. The condition is abolished by the ablation of the globus pallidus or of its efferent tracts, the anterior ventral nucleus of the thalamus, area 4 of the cerebral cortex, or of the corticospinal tract, right? Means this hemibellismus condition, it is ended by the ablation. Ablation means removing that particular part, right? Means removing of the globus pallidus and its efferent tracts, anterior ventral nucleus of the thalamus, area 4 of the cerebral cortex or corticospinal tract. So from these facts, it appears that the subthalamic nucleus has an inhibitory control on the globus pallidus and on the cerebral cortex. Okay, so that is the clinical anatomy related to the subthalamus. Okay, that is all about subthalamus. We complete diencephalon here, and next time we will start with the basal nucleus.